Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Wednesday, August 20th. I'm your host, Bree Cox Kennedy. From local highlights to village services, we've got you covered here on This Day, so thanks for joining us. Michael's going to be back on the show on This Day, and he's going to be speaking with Dean White from Caring Senior Service, and then later I'll have Festival of Arts and Pageant of the Masters Sharbi Higuchi here to tell us all about this year's show. But first, folks, we always want to keep you informed. Just a reminder, don't feed the wildlife. It may seem kind, and those little critters are super cute. Feeding animals like birds or squirrels actually attracts coyotes to our neighborhoods and makes them less cautious around people. That actually creates a danger for both residents and your little pets. It's also important to remember that feeding wildlife is actually illegal in California and is prohibited here in the village. If you see anyone feeding animals, you can report it anonymously by calling security 949-580-1400 or the compliance hotline. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast, folks. We are approaching a warming trend for the rest of the week going into the weekend. Today starts off again with low clouds, but those will give way to plenty of sun with highs near 85 and our evening lows coming in around 65. Thursday brings brilliant sunshine. We love that. Climbing up to 87 under clear skies and a comfortable 68 at night. Friday's going to bring in some morning clouds again before clearing into sunshine, reaching 88 and staying mild at 69 in the evening. So it's perfect for your evening strolls. Just watch out for those snakes. Looks like we've got a gorgeous weekend ahead of us. So make sure you stay hydrated, wear your hats, wear your sunscreen, and get out there and have fun. Sunrise this morning was at 6:16 a.m. Sunset will be at 7:30. This is Barbara's Lake. This photo sent in to us by Denny Hansen. If you'd like to send us your photos, we'd love to share them. Please email those to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in a horizontal format, please. Got just one meeting before we head on over to the break, and then after the break, Caring Senior Service will be here. Stay with me.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We follow the mantra, when family can't be there, we can. We started our business almost 30 years ago because we realized that seniors in these situations still need loving care. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Different location, but the same great guests from Caring Senior Service. I want to welcome Dean White to our program. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Good to see you again. Yeah.
This is probably a familiar kind of feeling for when you go do a visit in someone's home for the first time. You sit down with them at maybe the kitchen table or in a living room, and tell me what the start of that process is for someone who's decided that they may need some home health care.
Yeah, it's a great question. I want people first to know that I'm a no-pressure person. I want to get to know them. I want to understand their needs. I want to get to know them as a person. And I would say that a lot of companies, push the sale and put something in front of somebody to sign. That's not me. I really respect when somebody gives me time to think, and so I like to do the same thing too.
Right. And there's an assessment that you have to take, like, hey, do they even need my service, or to what level? Because you kind of have a full gamut of services you can provide, and you can pull back and add more as you go, right? So it's also part of this is like, do they even need me yet? Is it time for this?
100%. And now, if we're in-home care, a lot of times we are helping people with their medicine, for instance. It's a lot to keep track of, and And sometimes if you take the wrong dosage, something bad can happen. Or we simply are helping somebody sort through their mail, or we're helping them with meal prep, or doing some light house cleaning.
Right.
But
and we got a list up on the screen here, right, about what you guys
yes.
provide. And these are some of the gamut of services. This is not a complete list, but it's a good list to start with, right?
100%. Like for instance, I think I brought up before, for our client Donna, we go over there in the morning, make her breakfast, give her morning meds, and then they do some laundry, clean in the house a little bit, and then they make her a lunch, and then they put a dinner in the fridge and leave, and they come back the next day. As little as that to somebody who needs somebody next to them, for 24 hours a day. But the main thing with all that is the communication we give to the kids. Now, this is a con. Sometimes the families don't want communication with the kids.
Right.
Sometimes they do.
Right.
Majority do. And so we let the family know, how mom and dad are doing, and it gives the family a good peace of mind.
Right. That peace of mind is an important thing because, especially for folks who they've retired in another location and they can't drive over. They can't do a check on them, right? They're in a different state sometimes. Yeah. And there's that I haven't heard from them today, and there's that worry. Is that alleviation of worry is kind of a big factor, right?
It's a big factor. And a lot of times we mentioned just about sitting down in a living room like this and having a conversation. The questions that I'd love to answer are, should we put cameras in the house so we can check on mom? And what does that look like? Should we, is there paperwork that we need to put in order? I have questions about my trust? And I'm happy to answer all these. I have long-term care. When can I use it? I'm a vet. Is there any vet benefits? There's a lot of questions. And in-home care can really provide a lot of help. But part of it is just understanding the world of, that I might need help one day. Now, there's also three big buckets. It's in-home care, 24/7. Right. Home health, which often happens after you go into the doctor for surgery, and then they send a home health nurse twice a week to check your meds, see how you're doing. And then the last one, of course, is end-of-life hospice. And, we work with each one of them, but it's nice to know what those buckets do and when to call them.
Right, and sometimes it's just, hey, I need somebody to get me through, like you said, this recovery from a surgery where I'm going to need the assistance, and my kids are in another state, they can't fly out here, and I need this for a month, a 2-month kind of period.
It's a great example. A lot of times there is just help with recovery after a hip or a shoulder. We've had people who break a rib, and then we go in there for 2 or 3 weeks until that rib is healed. And then they say, okay, great. With me, they don't sign a contract. They just sign an agreement that as long as you need our help, we're here to, this is the cost for that. But there's not a contract. You're not blocked down into care.
Now, a lot of people who enter their retirement years, it's going to be fun. We're going to travel. We're going to do these things. Then they get to the later stage of that, and they know they need help, but they don't want to ask. And sometimes I feel like that fear is the biggest barrier to getting help and creating change in their lives, because they don't want that change and they're afraid of it. What do you say to folks who they don't want to do this? They need it, but they don't want to do it because there's a bit of fear of change and how it's going to be disruptive in their life?
Yeah, I think with a lot of things, it is to try it and know that you're not locked in. Give it a chance, and just one time, we can come over for 2 hours and see if it's the right fit. If the person isn't the right fit, we can try a different person. But and all the things that we could help with that might just enhance your life versus deter your life. For instance, we have a lady in Laguna Woods that had an eye procedure, and the doctor just hit the eye wrong, and she's blind, unfortunately, now in one eye. She lives on her own. She's great. She's phenomenal, very, very bright, but it's hard to reach that top shelf. It's hard to sort the laundry. And so we have a caregiver that comes over, and it is now enhanced her life versus, can you imagine her doing something and slipping and falling and breaking a hip or a rib or a shoulder or a wrist? How can we come alongside so you get the most out of life, not the other way around?
Now, cost is a factor, like anything in life. This service isn't, provided for free. What are some of the price ranges, and what can people do to make sure that there's an affordability for the care they need?
Great question. Really a big, impactful question.
Yeah.
So one is that, choose a company that's going to be flexible with you. Now, we have a flat rate. And so, and if you mention that you heard us on Laguna Woods TV, then you get $2 off per hour, which is great. And then also we don't do a sign-up fee or a service fee, but we work with long-term care. If you have long-term care, if you don't have long-term care, then we're going to work within your budget and show you ahead of time what everything costs, and then let you think about it. There's not a pressure there. And then there's other ways that there could be something that you want to refinance on the house or do something else with the house, like a reverse mortgage or something. But that would be something if there was nothing else that we could tap into.
I have an experience with a friend of mine whose parents are fighting them tooth and nail because they do need help. It's the father had a stroke and the mother can't do the care thing, but they're fighting. I don't want disruption in my house. I don't want strangers in my house. How do you help people get through that process of this change, again, that they kind of fear coming in?
Yeah, it's a really serious question, right? I mean, here's somebody new, and husband had a stroke, wife feels that she needs to take care of him. Our goal is that we do the caregiving so that the wife can be the wife, so that the daughter can be the daughter, the son can be the son, or the husband can be the husband, so that they're not doing the caregiving. And it's a lot on somebody if somebody is, taking care of them to give them a bath, feeding, changing a diaper, or changing undergarments of any sorts. If there is a wound that needs to be taken care of, if there's also demands of going to the grocery store and meal prep.
Right.
So my feeling is, don't sign a contract, but step into something that you at least have somebody come in and try. See if there is a nice lady or man that can come alongside you. Talk to the neighbors and see, do you have a caregiver? Who is this caregiver? I have seen that people that have been reluctant found it very, very rewarding, and the fear goes away and more freedom comes into their life.
Right. They can, like you said, they can stop being the caregiver and start being the husband, the spouse, and that whole thing.
Done to cut you off, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
But the people buy things and spend $1,000 for a phone. We'll spend $60,000, $70,000 for a car with the hopes that's going to give them freedom and enjoyment, right? And they take this big, huge. I just was in somebody's house yesterday. They put in one of those elevators that move you down, like across the stairway.
Yeah.
$18,000. They barely use it. Why not try somebody who would be a lot less money, a couple $100s, to see if that increases your freedom a lot much more than a materialistic thing that is just going to sit in the driveway or not be used that much.
When we talk about the fear of having someone come in your home, the change and disruption, how do you vet the folks who are coming into those homes? That's a sensitive area.
Great question. Yeah. So all our caregivers are put through a background check. We check them through 7 different agencies, if you can believe it. Wow. So the DMV to make sure they don't have a DUI. We check elder abuse, child abuse. If they've harmed a child, they're going to harm an adult. So anything that pops up in those things, they get cut out. And so they go through 7 different agencies for background checks. We also check references, and then they're also licensed and bonded before they come into the house.
Now let's talk a little bit about what people can do in terms of making sure they can afford long-term care for a period of time. What are some of the things they can do in terms of their life insurance or their homes and those kinds of things? Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize that if they have a life insurance policy, there's a good chance that there might be long-term care benefit to it, or that they can actually sell the life insurance. And people are like, no, I thought I had to only be able to use it when I passed away. Actually, there is a lot that you can do with life insurance. And so I always tell people, give me a call. I will help you alongside of it and see if there's anything that we can do with life insurance, anything we can do with your current house. But my goal is to maximize your income, and so that maximize the benefits so that you can have the help and care that comes alongside of you.
All right, that's going to wrap up my first home visit with Dean White from Caring Senior Service. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Michael. Great seeing you.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. The world famous Festival of Arts and Pageant of the Masters is in full production mode. Here to tell me all about it, including its history, I have Sharbi Higuchi here. Sharbi, you are PR director of Festival of Arts and Pageant of the Masters.
I am, for 27 years, if you can believe that or not.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Welcome to the show.
I should admit that. Thank you. Glad to be here.
27 years. That's amazing dedication. Must be a fabulous place.
It is a great place to work, and it's all about the arts, and I just love the arts and the messaging that the organization gives.
So give us a brief history about the organization, Festival of Arts, Pageant of the Masters. What year did it start?
It started in 1932, and at that time the Olympics were going on up in Los Angeles. So the artists and the townfolk of Laguna Beach got together and was like, hey, how can we bring more people down to our town of Laguna Beach? They wanted to bring that tourism traffic down. And so what they came up with this idea of, let's have a Festival of Arts. And at that time, it was really a celebration of the arts throughout the whole entire community of Laguna Beach. So not only did they have the art show, it was very simple. They were hanging their artwork on fences and trees, but they also had equestrian shows and teas with artists and all type of activities that happened throughout the entire city of Laguna Beach. And it only lasted 1 week. It was very successful. So the next year they decided, how can we get more people, especially those artists, very creative, how can we get more people to come into where the art show was located? And what they did was very simple. They dressed up like famous works of art, very simple ones, like Mona Lisa, Atlas, Girl of the Golden West, and they paraded around the city of Laguna Beach and had people follow them, kind of like the Pied Piper, into where the art show was located at that time. And then they had a very small stage, and they posed like these works of art, and that's the humble beginnings of the Pageant of the Masters.
And so that would have been 1933.
That was 1933 when the pageant started. It was more of a publicity stunt as a means to bring people in to see the artwork. Fast forward almost over 90 years later, we now have, it is a 2-month show versus a 1-week show. We probably have nearly 200,000 people that attend both the Festival of Arts and the Pageant of the Masters.
Sharbi, where are these people coming from? This
They
truly is a worldwide
over.
event.
All over the world, absolutely.
I mean, because I went last night. Fabulous, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
I love the twist. But I'm thinking, if this was in France, if this was in Italy, I would make my way over there just to see this show.
And people do that. They come just to Laguna Beach to see our really incredible living picture show, because there's nothing like it anywhere else in the world. And so what we do is, it sounds very strange. I'm sure many of your viewers know what we do, but we recreate famous works of art with real people. And they look just like these original works of art. And it's accompanied with a beautiful narration and storytelling, special effects, and live orchestra. The music is just fabulous this year.
Everything is fabulous. I mean, down to the minute details. I think on the B-roll I saw a painter just, painting one line of white on a piece of furniture, and I'm thinking, down to that level.
Absolutely. All the details count. We always say the devil's in the details. So, and we are trying to make it look like our painters, our scenic painters, are trying to make it look like the artwork of the artist's work that we're trying to recreate. Right. So it's not their own personal artwork, but they're having to make it look like that of a Monet or a Degas, whoever's work we're recreating.
Right.
However, we also have those 120 artists that are out front. I hope you got to walk around and see their incredible artwork.
Gosh, it's breathtaking. The level of talent is just, again, it's just world class.
Yeah.
It's stuff that, I do have a lot of the pieces from a lot of the artists.
Oh, good.
And I did look for more. I have one blank spot. So I was looking for more last night. But, in addition to all of the different mediums that are offered, including jewelry, and I saw a lot of woodworking,
painting, ceramics, mixed media, you name it, every medium. There's 120 of our artists. It is a real honor to be selected to be in the Festival Arts Fine Art Show. It is a juried show, which means you're selected to be in it. And there are some really notable jurors who do make the selection outside of the Festival Arts, who choose the actual artists who are going to participate.
Yeah. This piece is actually made by one of your artists there.
Oh, really?
In fact,
Who
I have
is that?
several. Lance Heck.
Oh, I love Lance Heck's work. Yes.
I
So,
actually wear several of his pieces.
and what's nice, there's like jewelry, something for everybody. So you have very traditional art to very
Yeah, we
contemporary.
don't need to just decorate the
to
walls.
Abstract. Yes, right. I might have a pair of earrings in from one of our. Well, she's actually a painter, mixed media artist, but she also does some jewelry as well. I'm wearing like Kate Cohen's jewelry. Actually.
Oh, okay. Sharma, you know what? I wanted to touch on something because I just think that this is such a fascinating experience for anybody who is maybe new to the area, hasn't been to the pageant or the festival before. You know, I was sitting there last night, and I've been for 25 years, and I haven't been every single year for 25 years, but I've been going since 2000. And to hear people, I overheard conversations and listened to people's, shouldn't, but
Can't help it.
but I did. The oohs and the ahs and the wows, and followed by silence after the art is being brought to life. You know, it still kind of gives me goosebumps.
Me too. Every time I see it, every year.
They've never seen it, and they're like, oh, like it literally takes their breath away.
Yes, I love taking a first timer to the pageant
Right.
because it's so unexpected. And at first the living pictures presented, and they're like, oh, that's just the painting up there. And all of a sudden there'll be movement or something, and they're like, oh my goodness, that's a real person up there.
Yeah.
What's amazing though about those real people that are up on stage, they're all volunteers.
Yes.
It takes 500 volunteers for us to put on our show because we have to double cast it. And those volunteers come from all over, not just Laguna Beach, all throughout Orange County, San Diego, LA area, Temecula. And honestly, we couldn't do the pageant without those volunteers. By the end of the summer, they will have donated roughly about 60,000 hours of their time to make the pageant, the Masters, happen.
And are they committed to every night?
So that's why we double cast. So we have what's called the green cast and the blue cast. So they're on for 7 days, and then the next cast comes on. And then they alternate all summer long. Because we've been running now since July 5th and run through the August 29th. So and this show is one that it's a must-see. So I hope anyone who hasn't got their tickets, that this will inspire them to go and see the pageant before it closes, because this is a special show.
It is a special show, and it's a unique take, and I love that the focus is on California museums.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, it is our director who picks the theme. Her name is Diane Chalice-Davy, and she came up with the idea, and then she starts thinking about the storyline, usually right about now for the following year's show. And then she works with our script writer, and she'll have volunteers that might suggest some pieces. Ultimately, what goes into the show is her final decision. So she highlighted some really wonderful museum and actually some local museums as too. Like Bowers Museum was highlighted, the Hilbert Museum was highlighted, as well as like the Getty, and then up all the way up in San Francisco. As you saw the show, it's like taking a road trip, right?
Yeah,
From San Francisco
exactly.
down to San Diego, stopping at these museums without, ever leaving your seat, really, or, you don't have to drive anywhere. You get a sneak peek of these permanent art collection pieces recreated by these living pictures. So, a lot of fun.
I loved how they made it really fun and
Yes.
very interactive with the mobile device and the maps, and
Because that's how we all travel now, right? When we
is.
go someplace, how many
It
selfies
is.
have you taken yourself at going
I
to a
took some
museum?
last
See, that's how we all operate now. That's how we remember our experiences, is all through our phones. And I think she did a really nice way of highlighting that and encouraging people to get out there and visit the museums.
Absolutely.
I love the Hearst Castle segment. Did you
that
enjoy
was
that?
great.
Wasn't
That
it
was
stunning.
great. I haven't been there in several years, and it's probably time to go back.
Yeah, Yeah. The other thing is, people don't realize when you have your Pageant of the Masters ticket, that is a season pass to the Fine Arts Show. So you can come back all summer long and listen to the wonderful music, take an art tour, take an art class, and all that. So you're kind of getting 2 shows for the price of one.
Yes.
And visit all the artists, the 120 artists. Be sure to talk to the artists for sure. They have interesting stories, learn about their art and their techniques. That's the beauty of going to the Festival Arts, is you have a one-on-one experience with our artists, rather than like if you go to a gallery, you don't have that.
You'd never meet them. Well, Volvo is celebrating 70 years. I understand you are giving away a Volvo.
We are. Our fundraiser is coming up on August 23rd, and the theme for it is California Dreamin', kind of a play off of the theme of the pageant this year. But Volvo has kindly donated a beautiful EX30, and it's stunning, and it's valued at roughly about $47,000, and we have been selling raffle tickets to it. One raffle ticket is $5, and you can get 5 for $20. And the big drawing will happen on the gala event on August 23rd. We are so
exciting.
They're so supportive, and we so appreciate Volvo as our sponsor.
Absolutely.
And there will be one of those lucky winners. And Jason Ritter is our celebrity host for that evening. So he's going to introduce the pageant before it starts, which is really fun, and he'll also pull that winning ticket.
Fantastic. Is it that red little convertible driving around?
No, it's that little blue SUV that's in the front right there.
Okay.
Which is really fun. It's electric, and it's a little speedy little car. It's really nice. It's a smaller SUV, really fun car. However, if you don't want to take the car as the prize, if you happen to be the winner, Volvo is giving $10,000 in lieu of the car, if that's what someone would decide to do.
Fantastic.
But I would take the car.
I would take the car. Sharpie, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's take a look at the Friday night movie preview. It's Father of the Bride, brought to us by City of Hope. This movie is shown at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles. This is the older version, the 1950s version, starring Spencer Tracy. If you forgot the plot, it's about the father of a young woman who deals with the emotional pain of her getting married, along with the financial and organizational trouble of arranging the wedding. Saturday's movie is a little more dramatic. The Good Shepherd, brought to us by Hoag Orthopedic Institute, again shown at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without. And this is about the tumultuous early history of the Central Intelligence Agency, as viewed through the prism of one man's life. Michael will be back with you here tomorrow with a United update. So stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for this episode of This Day. And from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one.